everyone. I have a special guest here with me today. This is Honey Bear, and Honey Bear has been practicing all week a special rap just for today's story. So, are you ready, Honey Bear? Okay, take it away. Go ahead, I'll be right here. Ready? 4, 3, 2, 1.
My name is Honey Bear, and I'm here to say it's super cool you're joining us to read today. In a cave in the woods, a bear sleeps and snores, while some animals come in and have a party indoors. The bear wakes up, and you think he'd be mad. But irony shows us he's really sad. So come on, everyone, we're gonna have fun. So give us your looks at breakfast snack time with books.
Yeah, good job, Honey Bear. Okay, say hello in Spanish like you practiced.
Oh yeah, okay. Hola a todos, buenos días y buenas tardes, familias, estudiantes, profesores y lectores. Me llamo Oso de Miel.
And me llamo Señorita Ana. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, family, students, teachers, and readers. I'm Miss Anna, and this is Honey Bear, and this is Spread the Word Nevada's breakfast and snack time with books. Hi to all those students and teachers also that might be joining us during their instructional day. We're really happy that we can keep sharing the kickoff of our second semester by sharing story time with you. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you to your families for sharing you with us. Thank you to your schools and your teachers and to our community sponsors. We know that when we read together, we grow together. And the more we read, the better readers we become. So we're happy to be here today. So I've got Honey Bear with me as my special guest. And my other guest of honor is my very favorite teddy bear, Joe Bear. And they're here today because the story we're reading is called Bear Snores On. So I'm decorated for winter with my paper snowflakes and my paper snowmen because today's story takes place during the winter. So I'm setting the stage. You can do that at your home too. So bears like to sleep in the winter. They take a long winter's nap. And with that being said, I'm going to put Honey Bear down for his nap. You can rest right here on Miss Ginger's lap. Ginger's here to read with us, as is Simon and Audrey. So in today's story, we have something that happens at the end that we call irony. And I want to teach you about irony today. This is what that word looks like, irony. And irony is the use of words to express the opposite of what is meant. So we use words to express the opposite of what we really mean. So let's go over what opposites are so that you understand that. If you understand opposites, you'll understand irony. Here are some opposites. The opposite of up is down. The opposite of hot would be cold. And the opposite of asleep, like Honey Bear, is awake, like us. Okay, so now there are 3 types of irony. We have dramatic, verbal, and situational. And I know that that sounds complicated, but I'll share some examples with you and you'll see it's really not. Dramatic irony is when the reader knows more than the character. So when we're reading a story and we know more than the character, that's dramatic irony. Here's an example, Beauty and the Beast. We know at the beginning of the story that the beast is really a prince, but he's turned into a beast because of a magic spell. Belle, the other main character, has no idea throughout the entire story until the very end. That is dramatic irony. Then we have verbal irony, and verbal just means spoken. So verbal irony is when someone says the opposite of what they really mean. So here's a good example. You wake up in the morning, you've got bedhead, messy hair. You come out and somebody in your house says to you, Wow, your hair looks really good. They're saying the opposite of what they really mean. We also call that sarcasm. That's verbal irony. The last one I have is situational irony. And that is when the opposite of what we think will happen happens. So it's really completely unexpected. And that happens in today's story. So I've got some questions. We're going to practice using our irony skills with these questions. Question number 1. What is ironic or unexpected about what causes Bear to wake up? So you'll have to pay attention to what that little detail is. 2, what are some of the ironic words used when Bear realizes that he's missed all the fun? And finally, 3, since bears sleep in the winter, what is ironic, unexpected, or opposite about the last page of the story? So if you can figure all of those out, you've got a good understanding of irony. So Bear Snores On is written by Karma Wilson and illustrated by Jane Chapman, and I'm reading it with permission from Scholastic Publishing. Here we go. Here's our winter scene. In a cave in the woods in his deep, dark lair, through the long, cold winter sleeps a great brown bear. There he is sleeping, cuddled in a heap with his eyes shut tight. He sleeps through the day and he sleeps through the night. The cold winds howl and the night sounds growl, but the bear snores on. An itty-bitty mouse, pitter-pat, tiptoe, creep crawls in the cave from the fluff of cold snow. Mouse squeaks, too damp, too dank, too dark. So he lights wee twigs with a small hot spark. The coals pip-pop and the wind doesn't stop, but the bear snores on. 2 glowing eyes sneak peek in the den. Mouse cries, "Who's there?" And Hare hops in. "Ho, Mouse," says Hare, "long time no see." So they pop white corn and they brew black tea. Mouse sips wee slurps. Hare burps big burps. But the bear snores on. A badger scuttles by, sniffs, snuffs in the air. "I smell yummy yums. Perhaps we can share." "I've brought honey nuts," Badger says with a grin. "Let's divvy them up, cozy down, and dig in." And they nibble and they munch with a chew, chomp, crunch. But the bear snores on. Nothing's waking our sleeping bear. A gopher and a mole tunnel up through the floor. Then a wren and a raven flutter in through the door. Mole mutters, "What a night!" "What a storm!" twitters wren, and everybody clutters in the great bear's den. They tweet and they titter, they chat and they chitter, but the bear snores on. All that noise not waking up Bear. In a cave in the woods, a slumbering bear sleeps through the party in his very own lair. That means his den, his lair. Hare stokes the fire. Mouse seasons the stew. Then a small pepper flake makes the bear Achoo! He blows and he sneezes, and the whole crowd freezes. What's going to happen? And the bear wakes up. Bear gnarls and he snarls. Bear roars and he rumbles. Bear jumps and he stomps. Bear growls and he grumbles. You've snuck in my lair and you've had all the fun. But me, I was sleeping and I've had none. And he whimpers and he moans and he wails and he groans and the bear blubbers on. Mouse squeaks, don't fret, don't fuss, look, see, we can pop more corn and we can brew more tea. Look at our ferocious bear. He doesn't look so ferocious. Bear gulps. Bear gobbles, he sighs with delight. Then he spins tall tales through the blustery night. When the sun peeks up on a crispy, clear dawn, Bear can't sleep, but his friends snore on. Yes. His friends are sleeping now. Did you catch the irony in that book? Let's see if we can see what you learned and what you caught. So, starting with our first question, what is ironic or unexpected about what causes Bear to wake up? Do you remember what that is? Something very small. It was a small pepper flake. So think about the irony in that. All of these animals are in the bear's den and they're popping corn and they're talking and they're having a party and nothing wakes them up. Yet a little tiny flake of pepper pops in the fire and that wakes him up. That's irony. Okay, 2, what are some of the ironic or unexpected words used when Bear realizes he's missed the fun? Do you remember those words? Well, I'll give you a hint. When he first wakes up, we hear words like roar, stomp, gnarl. But then all of a sudden, he whimpers and he moans and groans and wails and blubbers. He's crying. He's sad. And that's ironic because that's not what we would expect from a bear. Okay, number 3, since bears sleep in the winter, what is ironic or unexpected about the last page of the story? Well, of course, now Bear is wide awake. He can't sleep, but all of his friends are sleeping. And it's winter, and Bear should be the one sleeping. So that's ironic. So we heard the irony in the words, and we also saw the irony in the pictures. Great. So let's learn some fun facts about bears. Bears walk on all fours, but can also rise up on their hind or back legs. They have one of the best senses of smell, better than us humans. They're good swimmers, fishermen, and even though they're big, they can run very fast. Now that's kind of unexpected. So there's irony there. We would think because they're so big, they can't run fast, but they can. Most have 2 layers of fur. The first is for warmth, and the second keeps them dry when swimming. Many hibernate in the winter, meaning that they sleep a lot and eat very little. And here's something that has irony. A koala bear is not a bear at all. Instead, it's a marsupial, which means that it's an animal with a pouch. Bears don't have pouches. So there are 8 species or types of bears. They are the North American bear, the brown bear, the polar bear, and the panda bear. We also have the Asiatic black bear, the Andean bear, the sloth bear, and the sun bear. And this is called the sun bear because of the way this bear is marked on his fur. Let's talk about the 4 bears that we know the most about, that we're most familiar with as just regular readers. So first, let's talk about brown bears over here. Here's some brown bears. They live in North America, Europe, and Asia. They eat meat and plants, and they hibernate or sleep in the winter for 100 days. Imagine if you could sleep for 100 days. North American brown bears are what we call grizzlies. So if you hear somebody saying grizzly bear, you know they're talking about a North American brown bear. Let's talk about North American black bears. That's this big guy right here. They live in forests in Mexico, the United States, and Canada. They eat meat and plants, but they mostly eat fruit, nuts, plants, and they like human food and garbage. So if you're having a picnic in the forest, be sure to clean up and don't leave that garbage behind because the bear will want to eat it. Now we've got polar bears over here. Polar bears live in the Arctic. They eat meat and hunt seals in the ocean. They're the largest of all the bears, and they can swim for hours at a time. And finally, we have our panda bears. They're so cute, aren't they? They live in China. They're plant eaters, only eating bamboo, and we can see our panda right here is eating a bamboo stick. They spend up to 14 hours a day eating, and they like to hang in trees. So I hope you had fun learning about bears. We're sending over an activity sheet about irony. We're going to give you 6 sentences, and we want you to draw a picture that reflects that irony. So here's an example. A baker who makes the most delicious cakes and cookies doesn't eat sugar. So maybe you would draw a baker and a big bag of sugar with an X through it. So see how you do with understanding irony. Finally, I have some very funny jokes for you. Are you ready? Here we go. What do you call a wet bear? You call a wet bear a drizzly bear. Get it? Because when it drizzles rain, not grizzly, but drizzly. Okay, I know. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Get it? Because they've got no teeth, so they're a gummy bear. Do you like to eat gummy bears? I like to eat gummy bears. Okay, now, this is more of a riddle. What do you call a bear with no ears? See if you can figure this one out. What do you call a bear with no ears? Well, you would just call them a bee, or the letter B. And that's because a bear is spelled B-E-A-R. So a bear with no ears would just be a bee. Get it? I know. All right. Finally, what is Miss Anna's favorite bear? You guys should all know this. What is Miss Anna's favorite bear? Well, of course, it's a Joe Bear. My favorite teddy bear in the whole wide world, a Joe Bear. Good job. Okay, we're going to do a little fun thing right now. It's called going on a bear hunt. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to say, going on a bear hunt, and you're going to repeat, going on a bear hunt, and then I'm going to say, gonna catch a big one, gonna catch a big one. It's a nice day, it's a nice day, and we're not scared, and we're not scared. And then I want you to just follow what I'm doing with my hands. The first thing is going to be, grass, tall, wavy grass. And we're going to do our can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it, can't go through it. And at the end, we're going to run backwards through all of our obstacles. I'm going to keep a beat. I'm going to keep a beat like this. But if you want, you can pat on your legs like this. But I'm going to go like this so you can see me. So here we go. Are you ready? Here we go. Going on a bear hunt. Going on a bear hunt. Gonna catch a big one. Gonna catch a big one. It's a nice day. It's a nice day, and we're not scared, and we're not scared. Grass, tall, wavy grass. Can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it, gotta go through it. Wish, wash, wish, wash, wish, wash, wish, wash. Going on a bear hunt. Gonna catch a big one. Gonna catch a big one. It's a nice day. It's a nice day. and we're not scared. We're not scared. Uh-oh, mud, mushy gushy mud. Can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it, gotta go through it. Plop, 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 plop. Going on a bear hunt, going on a bear hunt. Gonna catch a big one, gonna catch a big one. It's a nice day, and we're not scared. Uh-oh, a river, a cold, wet river. Can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it. We gotta go through it. Splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash. Going on a bear hunt. Gonna catch a big one. It's a nice day, and we're not scared. Uh-oh, a cave, a quiet, dark cave. Can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it, gotta go through it. Tiptoe, 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 going on a bear hunt. Gonna catch a big one. It's a nice day, and we're not scared. Uh-oh, what's that? 2 fuzzy ears, 1 wet nose, 2 googly eyes. It's a bear! Run! Back through the cave. Tiptoe, 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 tiptoe. Through the river. Splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash. Back through the mud. Plop, 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 plop. And through the tall grass. Wish, wash, wish, wash, wish, wash, wish, wash. Run home. Open the door. Run up the stairs. Oh no, we forgot to close the door. Run back down the stairs, slam the door, back up the stairs, into our room, jump in our bed and under our covers. We're safe. Going on a bear hunt. I'm not going. Goodbye. Okay, guys, I hope you had fun with that. Next week, I'm going to be reading Lily Brown's paintings. And I'm going to show you how to do watercolor with Crayola markers. I hope you can join me then. Please check out our links below. One link is for our activity sheet. The other link is to enter into our monthly raffle. We are giving 1 prize away to 1 teacher and 1 prize away to 1 student. Thank you for doing that. I had fun reading with you. Keep reading, you guys. Until next time, bye-bye. And stay away from the bears.